Hey, what's going on, everyone? How are you guys doing? It is time for the AOW RAW post show tonight. And all I have to say is it the weekend? Is it the weekend yet? Oh my God. So I don't know. This was a pretty brutal show after the first hour. I don't know what you guys thought about the show, but good Lord. Absolutely insane. Came from Instagram. Thank you, Scoobus. Thank you. I hope you enjoy the show. How are you guys doing? See Sub, Miguel, Flash, Scoobus, Raphael, Jaden, J Wolf. How you guys doing? Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for chatting. I really appreciate it. What'd you guys think of the show? Warrior Nation says Raw needs to be 2 hours. Sub says shit show. Zach Stone is here. AOW says, how's it going, my friend? How you doing? Joshua, Raw was ass. Ooh. The Saiyan Gamer says, what's up, AOW? How you doing, my friend? How are you doing? Absolutely hated the booking. Scuba says, thoughts on Lana being injured. I don't know, man. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Hopefully it's a part of the storyline. We'll talk about that a little bit more once we get to that part of the show. What do I think about Omos? I like Omos. I like Omos. Miguel, didn't watch how to college exam. I remember you posting that in the comments. Hopefully you did well on your exam. Hopefully you did very well. I'm rooting for you. I enjoyed Wyatt and Orton. Yeah, that was a good one. Saiyan says, I'm one of your followers on Instagram. Glad I was able to find your YouTube channel. Oh, yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Why would they build up Lana and then take her out of the match? I don't know, man. That's what I don't understand. That's what I don't understand. I don't understand at all. It's just, I'm hoping it's just kind of a swerve. but I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait to see on Sunday. Hopefully they'll just be like, Asuka hasn't found a partner yet, and it's just she's gonna come out and they're gonna win. I don't know. Other than that, I don't know. Who knows what they do these days? None of it makes sense. This is a real question. Where the hell is Alexa Bliss? Her and Charlotte are filming something, I think. Some sort of movie or musical thing or something like that. So I'm assuming she's still gone from that. I'm gonna just casually remove the main piece of a pay-per-view match from a pay-per-view match. Yeah, exactly. This whole thing was all about Lana. So not having her in it kind of doesn't make any sense at all. But he says, yo, what's good? How are you? I'm good, man. Hope you're having a great night as well. Glad to see you here again. AOW, your man is back. How you doing? Welcome back, my friend. Tahaj says, you think Keith Lee pushes over? Interesting discussion. Interesting discussion. We'll talk about that when we get there. It's kind of late in the show. Trying to be more on track. Just have a little open discussion here before we get into it. And then we'll go through the whole card and deep dive into some subjects that you guys want to, and maybe rant about a couple things here and there. When do you think Charlotte return? Probably pretty soon. Probably pretty soon would be my guess. Mandy's back. Yes. That was kind of a weird anticlimactic return. I wasn't really expecting that. Eva Marie. It might be. I don't know. That might, I don't know about that. I don't know about that though. I didn't watch the whole show. Just watched the second half towards the end of the show. Ooh, hoodie. Yeah, that was the worst part, man. First hour was decent. Pretty decent. Hey, how they're treating Keith Lee? Yes, it is brutal. Big Oof should be sent back to the PC. I completely agree with you. Completely agree. Kabuki Warriors. I've seen a lot of people say that. Welcome back, Obi James. Glad to have you here, my friend. It would be nice to see Kyrie saying, I don't see that happening though. Who knows? Who knows, man? I don't know. Literally, I'm just here. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what's going on. None of it makes any sense. R.I.P. Ricochet. Yeah. Yep. That's that pretty much sums up everything with Ricochet. Is just R.I.P. Ricochet. It's brutal. He's probably going to end up joining Retribution. The Foot Clan. And who knows where that's going to go. I'm surprised that stuff is still alive. It's just it's just brutal. I can't stress enough how brutal it is. It's just so bad. Mr. JJT, what's up? Authors of Wrestling, how's it going, my friend? Brian says must be Monday. Absolutely. Excellent. I miss Kyrie so much. The only logical partner for Asuka. Yeah, I miss Kyrie too. The Kabuki Warriors were great, but I don't know. This whole story centered on Lana, so it doesn't really make any sense. But what do I know? I'm just a fan that doesn't like to be entertained, right, Bill? That's right. All right. So let's get through this show here really quick. A little quick rundown of the show. If you didn't watch or you weren't paying attention or anything, tonight's show started off with a dirt sheet featuring AJ Styles, where they were talking about, and this was beautiful. The Nightmare Before TLC perfectly sums up tonight's show. Perfectly. Then we had AJ Styles versus Sheamus, followed by a backstage segment with the Hurt Business, which was pretty good if you ask me. Following that, we had the Hurt Business taking on Jeff Hardy and the New Day and a big boy 6-man. Then we had Lana taking on Big Oof. We had ourselves an Elias performance, if you want to call it that, with his brand new friend that looks exactly like him, Jaxson Ryker. Very interesting. Keith Lee's new hobby is flipping coins. That's pretty cool. And he also decided to take on The Miz and John Morrison in a handicap match. Very interesting. Bray Wyatt had a Firefly Funhouse field trip to the WWE Thunderdome. Randy Orton wants to play some games. Mace from the Foot Clan takes on Ricochet. Then we have Shayna Baszler taking on Dana Brooke. Some more backstage fun with Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. Matt Riddle versus MVP And then what do they call this thing? I can't remember what they called it. The champion, like a WWE Championship Ascension Summit or something. We had that with AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre. I can't remember what they called it. They always call these things some ridiculous names. So, yeah, that was a show tonight. A lot of stuff happened, but nothing really happened at the same time. Miro's tweet, yes. I saw that and I had to share it. The title ascension, yeah. Gibberish, yeah. I hate it when they do things like just have like a segment. You don't need to call it some weird, awkward thing that no one knows what it is. Like, why are you raising the title up? Why is that? Who cares? Why are you doing that? It doesn't matter. Who remembers the fist fight from the beginning of the year? I don't remember what you're talking about. Maybe that's a good thing. Miguel says, do you think AJ will win the title Sunday? No, I do not. Definitely not. I'm not sure who is going to take the title off of Drew McIntyre, but I certainly don't think it's going to be AJ Styles right now. I'm sure he'll have quite a decent reign. And I guess since we're on the topic of it, he's supposedly, according to WrestleVotes, he's going to face Brock Lesnar and Keith Lee for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. So who knows? Clayton says, hey, OW, how's your day been? My day has been good, man. Other than just sitting here watching Raw for 3 hours. Oh, it was between Seth and Bobby. Oh, okay. Yeah, oh man, I'm terrified to go back and watch or even look at some of the stuff from the early part of the year. Oh, especially like the pandemic era of stuff, like right when we first got into this whole mess where they were just showing video packages and stuff. That was brutal. Absolutely brutal. Yeah. And this was the go home show. If you didn't know, TLC is this Sunday. So I don't even really know what the card looks like. I remember I saved a picture of it. Let me see if I can find it here. Just in case, for those of you that don't know, kind of like me. So far, here's what we have for TLC. We have a WWE Universal Championship match, which is a TLC match, between Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. I think that one, everyone knows that one. A WWE Championship match, also a TLC match, with Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles, which everyone also should know that because we just saw it. SmackDown Women's Championship match, Sasha Banks versus Carmella. The WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Asuka and question mark. Big old question mark. Raw Tag Team Championship match, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, The New Day versus Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin of the Hurt Business. We also have Bray Wyatt, which I guess should say The Fiend with Alexa Bliss versus Randy Orton. So far, that is what we have for TLC. That is 2, 4, that is 6 matches. 6 matches. So, I don't know. Maybe they'll make some more here. I'm sure they'll have like a pre-show one or something like that. Zach says, who the f*** is already disliking the stream? Nothing has happened yet. See, I'm kind of glad you brought that up. It's fine. It's kind of funny. So, I don't know. Someone got mad that I called SmackDown garbage. A couple people got mad. So they just went through and like disliked the like 4 or 5 videos that I have. But if you're listening, I have a fantastic little story to tell you. Likes and dislikes on YouTube are the same thing. So it's all engagement. It's just like if you leave a comment calling me a dumbass on Instagram, it doesn't matter. It's a comment. It's engagement. It's telling people to check out my videos, check out my my posts on Instagram. It's all the same. The only thing that a dislike will do is it tells the YouTube algorithm that you are not interested in these types of videos. Therefore, you will not see these videos in your feed. So keep disliking the videos. I don't care. It's all good for me. And as a matter of fact, when I had posted, I had posted about it the other day, which is kind of funny. The video got like over 100 extra views and like 300 hours plus of watch time. So if you're one of those guys that just likes to go through and dislike things, shout out to you, because it's only working better for me. I love it. I love it. And you know, everyone is free to come in. If you don't like what I say, that's cool, man. You don't have to love everything that I like. You don't have to. Like, if you come in here and you want to be respectful and just be like, hey man, I thought Raw was great. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna say, hey man in chat, why did you think it was great? What was good about the show? Can you tell me? Maybe I missed something. I don't know. But if you come in here and you're like, hey, you stupid asshole, you're just a stupid bitch and I hate you and I hope you die and blah, 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 you're just a mark and you and blah, 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 like, why? Like, bro, we don't care. Well, I'm just here having fun. We're chilling, right? I don't take any of this stuff super seriously. Like, I don't get offended if someone doesn't agree with me. I don't get offended if someone calls me names. I don't care, man. I don't care. Like, I'm just here to have fun. I'm here to chat wrestling. And you know, it's kind of cool. Like, having like the larger audience on Instagram is cool and all, with all the engagement and stuff, but doing stuff like this that everyone doesn't come to, like, just like we have 26 people here right now, as opposed to almost 61,000 on Instagram. So it's a lot cooler to be able to see familiar faces, chat with faces more often, and kind of chat with you and remember who you are and everything like that. It's so much cooler to do stuff like this. So like, I don't care if someone gets mad at that. Who cares? Let him. That other guy was here. He was just like talking a bunch of crap and it just ignored him. Like, if you want to be here and talk crap, that's cool, man. You were literally just giving me watch time. That's all. So shout out to you. Shout out to you. Watch time will translate into money. So, all right. Keep pissing them off. They'll still follow. Detective AOW is a genius. Yeah, you just kind of kill them with kindness, man. Kill them with kindness. Or, you know, just be respectful. That's all it is. It doesn't bother me if someone likes a show that I don't like. I don't care what other people do with their time. Like, cool, man. I'm glad you enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoy next week's show too. You know? So anyways, now that this disaster is over, let's get into the show. Joshua says face reveal. So, all right. Let's chat. Let's chat before we get into the show. Everyone wants to know. Everyone wants to see who I am. And it'll happen. It'll happen. Not at the moment. I don't have a camera, and I'm not going to buy one. At least not right now. If the shows continue to do well, like, I'm very, very pleased with the results of the show. Like, I literally didn't think anyone would come here, and I thought I was just going to be talking to myself for an hour or 45 minutes or whatever it be. But I'm very happy with how everything has gone. And I think once I get a little bit more comfortable talking, because doing the post shows, it's kind of difficult. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, having to just speak and all that and just kind of put things together, it's kind of difficult. So once I get used to that and get the flow of everything down and start doing the other stuff that I want to do, like I want to do like a weekly podcast that's not live. And I think maybe once I hit monetization or something like that, maybe I'll go buy one. And yeah, and then we'll have a face cam from then on. And like, for me, it's always like go big or go home. So like, I'm not going to go buy some shitty $200 webcam or something and just rock with it and be all grainy and look terrible. So I have the camera that I want. It's like $850. Like a Canon something. I have it saved on my phone. So when the time comes, I will buy it, and I will buy a cam link, and we'll have face cam. It'll be an event. So as long as people keep showing up, as long as everything happens and keeps flowing correctly, it'll happen. That is my agreement that I'll make with everyone. I think that sounds pretty fair. I'll agree to it just once I get to the monetization point, and once everything is more comfortable in terms of just being able to put on a show and have it flow and everything. So if everything keeps going the way that it is, it would probably take like 3 more months. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, depending on things. So plus, God, I think it would be so much easier. I wouldn't have to do all these stupid overlays and like all this stuff. It would just be so much easier just to put my picture up there with a background. So it'll happen. So, and I thought the original design I made for the stream was a picture of Sting sitting at a table, but I was like, you know what, people probably don't want, I don't know how you guys are viewing, since there's not really anything on the screen other than chat, but I figured I would just put chat on the screen and like the people that subscribe and stuff like that. Speaking of, thank you for subscribing, Cruise Control, I appreciate it. So I figured I'd put that on there so you can have a full screen and see what's going on and stuff. But yeah, anyways, it's coming. It's coming. I make that promise to you all who are here tonight. It's just a matter of time. Like I said, maybe 3 or 4 months. 3 or 4 months. Vanch says, I didn't watch Raw. Did something good happen? No, not really. A cool part was the Fiend and Randy Orton part. If you want to see it, you could probably go to WWE's Twitter and find it on there pretty easily. It's probably like a 2-minute video. Other than that, nah, you didn't really miss anything. Yeah, Bray happened. That was about it. Typical Monday night. So anyways, let's get into the show here. We're 22 minutes in. We haven't talked about jack shit. So anyways, show opened up with a dirt sheet segment, like I was saying in the beginning here, with The Miz and John Morrison playing Drew McIntyre, I guess. And AJ Styles as well. He was reading from a book called The Nightmare Before TLC, which sums up this show perfectly. And for those of you that don't know, if you weren't here when I said it earlier, this show is the go-home show for TLC this Sunday. Raphael says, typical Monday night with a freshly cooked side of burying everyone's favorites. Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, it did. Morrison deserves better. Yeah, I would agree as well, Obi James. I would absolutely agree. So, Sheamus wasn't happy with the dirt sheet, so he ended up coming out and getting in the face of AJ Styles, which led into our first match of the night, which was Sheamus versus AJ Styles. And hey, I'm not mad. Up until this point of the show, not mad. I enjoyed it. The beginning segment was all right. Wasn't the worst thing I've seen. So this match was good as well. I think it was about a 15-minute match or so. It had great back and forth. Sheamus right now is so much better than he's been since his debut. The whole running over Jeff Hardy with the car type deal was not good at all. Like, at all. So, yeah, this whole thing with him being paired up with Drew, it's really elevated him. He's put on some fantastic work in these matches. He's doing great. Doing great. Absolutely love where they're going with Sheamus. I'm still not sold on the weird fighter man gimmick thing that he's got going on. But other than that, it's good. And, AJ Styles gets a clean win. There's no hokey finishes here. There's no distraction roll up. The finish was a little bit weird, though. He had attacked his leg earlier on in the match, so he was hurt. He was hurting on his leg, and he was on the second rope, I believe. And AJ managed to wiggle out of there, and then he kicked him in the back of the leg, and he fell off, and then AJ just pinned him, and he won. So, very anticlimactic finish, to say the least, but I don't know. It was a good match, and just not having disqualifications and distraction roll-ups is enough to please me when I'm watching Raw. So solid match, solid opener. The finish in this match and the Lana and Big Oof match was basically the exact same. I just realized. Yeah. Yep. Pretty much. I believe Sean Ross Sapp said that there were 3 top rope finishes on the show tonight. Very odd. And that just goes to the whole thing that I've said before, where it's like They just love to do something and then just continue to do it over and over and over and over and over again until they just like fall in love with something else, and then they just do that over and over and over again. So I don't quite understand it. But yeah, good opener. Not mad at the show. Next, we have the Hurt Business walking backstage, looking fantastic in their fine suits, looking all badass. And they come across a man's sitting at catering. He's just eating bro nuts, you know, minding his own business. And he's got a bro hat on, you know, he's just loving himself some Matt Riddle. And they don't take kindly to that. So Bobby Lashley takes some milk and dumps it over the man's head. But not, he doesn't only dump it over his head, it splashes all over the front of his suit. So it's pretty funny looking when, if you saw the picture that I posted of them, where they're sitting there and they're talking and they're looking tough, he has milk all over him. Like literally just all over him. It's fantastic. If you've been to the show before, or even if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I love the Hurt Business. They're so fantastic. They've been a huge asset to Raw. They've been one of my favorite reasons to watch the show. Before the Hurt Business, none of these guys were doing anything. Bobby Lashley was kind of like just lost in that whole Rusev and Lana story. It was really bad. MVP was kind of around doing a couple things. Cedric was completely lost and losing a ton of matches and being a weird friend to Ricochet. And Shelton Benjamin, they signed him back like in 2017, 2016 again. And he literally was just sitting on the sidelines. Like that's literally all he did. So it's really nice that, you know, with MVP, they brought this group together and they've brought these three guys together and they've made them great. Bobby Lashley, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin their careers have been like saved. If you ask me, like it's been so good. And MVP is such a good mouthpiece. And, you know, actually all of them are getting really good at being talkers too. Like Cedric has been fantastic over the past 3 weeks. The whole new attitude, the aggression, all the stuff like that. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Yep. Thanks to MVP. He's been a real MVP, to be honest. He's been great. So I absolutely love this. Everything that they do is great. I really hope that they win some gold this Sunday. So after that, we cut to their opponents, where we have the New Day and Jeff Hardy sitting in Gorilla, and they're matching. They got the yellow and the blue on, looking good. And then everyone's favorite person, Matt Riddle, rolls up, and he wants to be Bro E. And Jeff Hardy says that he'll give the Hardy Bros a chance. So they make a little entrance here as the Hardy Bros. Pretty fun. I like the idea, to be honest. And we've talked about this a lot, but Raw is not even just Raw, but WWE as a whole, for Raw and SmackDown, they're just severely lacking tag teams. So if they can make the Hardy Bros work, it's a fun play on words. So make it happen. Make it happen. I'm totally fine with this. I wouldn't mind seeing them run for a little bit on a tag team. I don't see them doing anything different with Matt Riddle or Jeff Hardy. So why not? People need tag teams. We can't just have the same things going on and on and on and on and on. And after TLC, what's going to happen? Who's going to feud with who? If the New Day retain, who are they going to fight? Her Business again? Still? For like 10 weeks in a row? But what happens if the Hurt Business win? Are they going to continue to feud with the New Day and like a whole rematch type deal? So it's we need to establish some new people here. And on the short list, you got Matt Riddle. Yes, the blue cheese bro, Matt Riddle. I actually dig Riddle and Jeff as a team. Me too. Vince killed tag teams. Remember this? Yeah. He doesn't like tag teams. But you know what? If you're going to have tag team championships, sorry, you got to have tag teams. And you have to have more than two. So Hardy The Hardy Bros is one. The Miz and John Morrison, believe it or not, are a tag team. So get the Money in the Bank briefcase off of the Miz immediately. Stop with the nonsense. All they do is lose anyways, with the asterisk on that. So get the Money in the Bank briefcase on him and put him in the tag division. They're a tag team. What's going on? Jesus. And you could even use Elias and Jaxson Ryker now. So there's 3 teams that aren't being utilized that you just could. Raphael says the entire tag team division is the New Day, Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro, everyone's favorite uncles, Lucha House Party, Miz and Morrison, Hurt Business, and I guess Otis and Gable. That's just enough for one solid division. Wow. That's it? For the whole like Raw and SmackDown roster? That's brutal. That's really brutal. Bret Hart said it himself that Vince single-handedly killed tag team wrestling. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get why you could not like tag team wrestling. It's great. And it's nice to have tag team wrestling because it's a whole different dynamic. It breathes freshness into your show. It's so that you don't have the same exact thing over and over and over again. Thank God we have Wednesday for tag team wrestling. Yeah. Tag teams on Wednesday, so much better. Oh yeah, the Street Profits as well. Not forget about the Street Profits. They're even tag team champions. In that case, they should unify the damn championships. Yeah, I would agree, but I feel like that it wouldn't solve their problem. They would just do the same thing and only focus on like 1 or 2. And then you'd have one team floating on both shows, and it would probably just be so frustrating. Like when Charlotte had the NXT championship and she was just literally everywhere. She was on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. That was brutal. Like if you're going to have someone float on shows, don't put them on every single one. Like have them on NXT and then not on SmackDown, and then have them on Raw and then maybe on SmackDown and then maybe on Raw again, and then maybe don't have them on till next Raw. Like change it up a little bit. Don't put someone on Raw, NXT, SmackDown, main event, 205 Live, Raw, NXT, SmackDown. Like it's too much. There is, believe it or not, there is a such thing as overexposure. And that's one of the things that NXT did so well back in their non-TV days when they were on the network. You wouldn't see, they rotated their roster perfectly. Like absolutely perfectly. They just had, it was always something fresh. And you know, when you had someone like Tommaso Ciampa or Gargano or Black or something like that on there, they weren't on there every week. It was just every couple of weeks. And for the most part, they didn't really wrestle. Like, I don't want to see Ciampa wrestle 4 times a month. I want to maybe see him wrestle like once or twice and then have a pay-per-view. So you have these, it's the same thing with like The Fiend. You don't want to have The Fiend wrestle on your TV show because it devalues The Fiend on your pay-per-view. It's the whole thing of like keeping things special, keeping things fresh, and they are not doing that. They are not doing that at all. They're running everything into the ground. Creative is at an all-time low, especially in the tag team area, and it's just, I don't get it. They have such a wealth of talent. The WWE roster currently is probably the best it's ever been in its entire existence. And it's just, I think that's why it's so frustrating to see such bad storytelling and such a bad product overall. Because man, a lot of these guys can go out there and give you exactly what we're looking for. And they're just like, nah. And it's a 3-hour show. That's the crazy part. It's 3 hours long. How do you not have the time to do these things? Absolutely insane. The women's tag titles made sense when Bayley and Sasha, when they first had it, because it actually showed up everywhere. Now they should just throw them away because there's no women's teams. When's the last time we've seen them on SmackDown? Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler, I don't think they've ever gone to the other brand. They've certainly never gone to NXT. That's the whole point of those titles, is they're supposed to float. So oh god, and there's a huge rant to be had about the women's tag team titles too, because they're just completely worthless at this point. Rated C says it's a 3-hour show. There should be more tag teams and tag team matches. I agree. And even with tag team matches, you can extend them out longer. You can have longer matches that take up longer time, which means you don't have to fill less time with garbage. Like, it just, once you start doing it, it's just like a snowball effect. Snowball rolling down a hill. It's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and better. So why they don't do it, I have no idea. Vortex says, hey man, hope you had a great day. Thank you. I did have a great day. Hope you did as well. They need to get rid of the monthly pay-per-view schedule. They have like no time to properly build more storylines. Yeah, Warrior, I agree. I feel like it's kind of the monthly pay-per-views, they all seem rushed. Like literally all of them. Maybe it's time. Maybe it is time to change those up. It doesn't seem like 4 weeks is enough to tell a story for them anymore. And they usually aren't like finishing feuds at pay-per-views. They're extending them through 2 or 3 of them. Hell, maybe even 4. I don't know. I haven't been counting, but I know a lot of the stuff that they've been doing has just been dragging on for so long. You know, something that might blow your mind. I saw someone say it was maybe a month ago by now, a couple weeks ago. I haven't verified this, so it could be wrong, but someone said that the Seth Rollins and the Mysterio family feud started on the exact same day that Becky Lynch relinquished her championship to Asuka. Think about how long ago that was. Insane if true. Insane. So like stuff like that, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Exactly, it's like the most talented it's ever been, but it feels like the worst thanks to their booking. Yeah, and it really just devalues people. Honestly, like look at Ricochet. Ricochet is ungodly talented. He was one of the fan favorites in NXT, and now look at him. No one cares. No one cares about Ricochet at all. He's in a feud with the Foot Clan. Like, I'm sorry, we don't care. Last time we saw the women's tag titles on SmackDown was when Bayley and Banks broke up. Wow, so that was a while ago. Impact has a better women's tag team division than WWE. Yeah, and I mean, it's all about, like, if you want to have a division that's small like that, like a women's division, like, go ahead and just make some funky tag teams. Just be like, hey, look, me and you, we're not doing so great. We're not in contention for the insert Raw or SmackDown tag titles or world titles. So like maybe we should team up and we can go for these or something, like literally just anything. And if you do stuff like that, instead of just, it's just those little tiny things that they could do that makes everything different. If they want to pair up 2 random people like Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, don't just have them enter and be like, oh, hey, here's a tag match. Have a backstage segment where, you know, things aren't going right or something's wrong, and they link up and they're able to try to fix it or something like that. Just anything, just little storytelling to try and help push people in. And it's like, I swear, it's those little tiny things that go so far in the show where it's like, hey, I can't be mad at that. And I think they actually did that with Lana, because we had Lana, she wanted to fight someone. Obviously it was Big U for Shayna Baszler. But they had a little backstage segment and she was like, hey, I requested this match. And it's like, wow, okay. All right. I can't be mad. Can't be mad at that. I get it. So just little stuff like that, at least for me, it makes the world of difference. Absolute world of difference. To be honest, I don't want to see Asuka as double champ. Yeah, I mean, I'm not so certain I know what's going to happen anymore. I would have bet money that Lana and Asuka were going to walk out as the women's tag team champions at TLC. Maybe they still will. Maybe it's a swerve. I really don't know. I have no clue. Remember the madness of SummerSlam and Payback? Oh, I honestly feel like I have just completely shoved all older WWE content out of my brain from this year. Like, it was just so bad that I just have locked it away, never to be unvaulted again. It was just, oh, I just remember being so irritated of like having to watch a 3-hour show, and they put like where we had to watch the Undertaker Boneyard match with AJ Styles like 8 times, I swear. It was like a lifetime ago. Yeah. In your opinion, is this the worst WWE product has ever been? In recent memory, yeah. I mean, I didn't watch for quite a while, for a couple of years, so I can't speak about those years. Around the CM Punk era of WWE, I wasn't watching, so I can't speak about that time. But yeah, as of right now, I think it's just terrible. They're scraping the bottom of the barrel in their ratings. They're like at the lowest of lows. Everyone's unhappy that works there, and it's just bad. But hey, they're making money, right? And that's all that matters. That's all that matters. There are 3 constants in WWE: DQs, roll-ups, and rubber matches. 100%. 100%. When all your part-timers and older guys are gone in a few years, all you're going to be left with is the core of your roster. All you're going to be left with is those guys that couldn't make it to TV. Yep, exactly. And I think like we're kind of there. Like, they're not relying on Brock Lesnar anymore. There's no one else that's really big that can come in. And it should all be all about creating these new stars. Like, you have guys that are obviously like, they're very popular, you know, with your Seth Rollins, your Kevin Owens, your Roman Reigns, your Drew McIntyre, your Randy Orton. And I just don't know if I personally, I don't, maybe you guys disagree, but I don't know if I personally would say that those people are stars. And I mean star as in the term of like, not that they're, obviously they're all great wrestlers, right? But for a star, I'm looking for someone who's transcending the wrestling business. Okay. So if I'm just walking down the street and I say, hey, do you know who The Undertaker is? They're going to be like, yeah, I don't watch wrestling, but yeah, I know absolutely who The Undertaker is. You don't have those guys anymore. The Undertaker, Stone Cold, The Rock. We don't have those. You could argue that maybe Roman Reigns is one. And I think Becky Lynch, to be honest, was one. And might continue to be one when she returns. But you're really missing those, yeah, like Warrior says, those larger than life people. You're really missing them. They're so scared to build those people up, to lose them to Hollywood is what it seems like. They don't want them to leave. But it's like, that's just natural progression. Like, we saw that with Renee, and we saw that with oh my god, Kathy Kelly. They both left, not because they weren't like unhappy with the company or anything, but just because they felt like they could do more, and they literally couldn't do it there. And even Renee was talking about doing Talking Smack again, and it's like, why? I've already done it. They wouldn't let her do a podcast. They wouldn't let her do a cooking show or any of this other stuff that she wanted to do. So of course, like, they're gonna leave, and that's just natural. Yeah, they aren't massive stars. Cena, yeah, another fantastic one. Brock Lesnar, yeah. Like, we don't have any of those right now. Not at all. And I honestly just think they're scared. They're scared to lose them. And I don't blame them, but this is why you should be having that roster where you're constantly building new people. You should always be building new people. And especially like, okay, so you have Roman Reigns. Actually, Roman Reigns is a perfect example because this has already happened in the past. So you take Roman Reigns. If you take Roman Reigns right now, probably the hottest thing on WWE television, like completely, he's the best thing they have to offer right now. Okay. Well, his leukemia came back and he had to step out of WrestleMania. So what if you put all your attention into that one guy, only for that one guy to leave for some reason or to have to leave under bad circumstances, just temporarily. But what do you do when you lose those people? That's you put all your eggs in that basket and it's gone. So there should always be that revolving thing where you're building new people. Obviously, it takes time and stuff like that, but you have to establish these people at some point, because sooner or later, if things continue to go where they are, we're just gonna have a roster of people like Ricochet, where you just don't care. You know that Ricochet is extremely talented. You know what he's capable of, but you just don't care because the booking is so bad. Bray Wyatt could have been the easiest character to be larger than life, but they kept him over. Yep, absolutely. Like, Bray Wyatt's another perfect example. He's been screwed forever. And The Fiend, arguably one of the best characters that WWE has ever had in their possession, aside from, like, you know, old characters like The Rock and Stone Colds and your Undertakers and stuff like that. But in today's era of wrestling, The Fiend is a jackpot. So the booking decisions were terrible. Terrible. Like, why would you do that to your hottest thing? Like, we've learned that even The Fiend can't survive stuff like that. That Hell in a Cell, oh man, it was brutal. Brutal. Not only did that hurt The Fiend, that completely killed Seth Rollins. Like, that was a huge turning point where, like, people just literally hated Seth Rollins, and not in a good heel way. It was terrible. You had this guy on social media, like, crying about everyone not liking him and him not being cool and all this stuff. It was just a disaster. And then you don't learn from your lessons and you just follow it up with the Goldberg incident. If there's a why, if anyone in the world needs a title shot and a title reign, why is it Goldberg? Why? Like, the spear versus spear thing, I get it, right? I'm not denying that something like that couldn't exist in a storyline. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant Goldberg. It should exist, and I think it's fine to run a spear versus spear, especially when you have someone from the past like Goldberg and someone in the future like Roman Reigns. Absolutely, sure, but does it need a title? Does destroying your strongest asset at the moment to put the title on someone who hasn't wrestled in a year, who can't even perform their own moves, just to set up a little feud where your golden child can win it back and be on top of the world? No, that's not how you do things at all. It's not good. Roman Reigns versus Goldberg does not need, Roman Reigns versus Goldberg does not need a world title. It doesn't. The spear versus spear tells itself, in my opinion. You don't need it. I mean, that Saudi money made HBK come back. Yeah, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Although, like, it's a Saudi event. Of course, they're gonna be, you know, they have deep pockets, but that doesn't mean that HBK needs to come back and squash someone and win the world championship. If Goldberg wants to come back and wrestle, come back and wrestle. Sure, he's a legend. Of course. But do it the correct way. Come back and put someone over. Or if you want to come back, like, come back. Show up every week. Wrestle. Get a couple wins. Sure. But then when that time comes, you need to do the job. You need to do the job and help someone else. That's what this is all about, right? Like, if you're actually a passionate wrestling fan, you should be wanting the best for the wrestling business. You shouldn't just want $2 million. And the rumor was that he was the one fighting and crying about winning the title and having another run. So, absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Part-timers don't need the title unless they are putting someone over. Exactly. We don't want to see Brock Lesnar come and beat Kofi Kingston for the championship in 7 seconds. Why is that a thing? That should not be a thing. And that's why people get so frustrated for stuff like this. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. Okay. Good Lord, did we get off track? Good Lord. So yeah, let's kind of get back on track here for the show. We're 50 minutes in, and I think we've only talked on like 2 or 3 subjects. So anyways, the Hurt Business gets the win over Jeff Hardy and the New Day. Of course, we're going to see this run back probably later on. We're probably going to see the Hurt Business in its entirety with all 4 of them versus the New Day, Jeff Hardy, and Matt Riddle next week. So prepare yourself for that. Prepare yourself for that. Next up, we had Lana in a singles match against Big Oof. This is where the show took a turn for the worst. And you know what? While we're on the subject, I'm happy for Lana. I'm happy. She got to perform tonight. And of course, she's not the best wrestler in the world, okay? But like I was saying before, she tries. And she had a good showing tonight. I mean, her opponent is, you know, Big Oof. So that makes things a lot more difficult, you know? But hey, it wasn't enjoyable by any means, but it was good for her. I'm happy for her that they didn't just have her get squashed, or they didn't have her just like stand there and win for some weird reason. So she actually got a win. She actually beat Nia Jax and pinned her clean. So that was crazy. Although after the match, Shayna Baszler attacked Asuka backstage, who was watching. Then came out, and then Big Oof and Shayna Baszler attacked Lana. They twisted her, bended her, and all sorts of different angles, directions, whatever you want to say. Folded her up like a pretzel, and then worked on her ankle, I believe it was. And Big Oof did a bunch of leg drops to her ankle, and she is no longer medically cleared to perform at TLC, and she is no longer going to be teaming up with Asuka to have that WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. So Asuka is left on her own, and she is going to have to find a mystery partner. A lot of people are assuming that Kairi Sane is going to come back. I don't know if that's true. I'm hoping that this is a big swerve, and they're going to have Lana come back, and she'll just be fine, and she'll be able to compete in the match. That's what I'm hoping. This entire thing revolves around her. This entire feud is hers. All of it. So removing her from it makes absolutely no sense. Like, yeah, it's cool to see Kairi Sane return if that's the case. Or people might be even more mad at this, but it could be Eva Marie, who could be the mystery tag partner. But what does that mean if the person in the story isn't in the match? It just doesn't make any sense. So hopefully, like I'm saying, I hope it's a swerve. I really do. If it's not, I'm not going to be happy about it. Just because it doesn't make sense. Even if it's Kairi Sane, like, it'll be exciting to see them return and team up again. But other than that, it doesn't fit the story. It might be Mandy. That's what I was thinking as well. But she's a team with Dana Brooke. That's what I originally thought. But then I remembered that later on, Dana Brooke was being attacked, and they had mentioned that they were a team. Watch Lana come back and win the title, and then she will be a star promo. See, that's what I'm thinking. Kind of, to be honest. I'm thinking that this is what I have WWE booking for Lana and Asuka. So I had them winning the tag titles at TLC. Then I had them having a short reign, very short reign with the titles, and causing like dissension between them. Like maybe Asuka's the one that loses the titles and Lana's mad. So Lana can be the one to win them, and then Asuka's the one that loses them. So Lana's mad. It's her first championship. She's upset. So her and Asuka kind of bumping heads a little bit. They're angry at each other, but they're not wrestling. They're not wrestling. Then the disaster strikes. I'm sorry, but I have to mention it. Lana wins the Royal Rumble this year because of the stupid stipulation that they want to do, where the 28 and 29 will eliminate themselves, and then number 30 will come out and just automatically win and get a shot. So I figured they would do that, have Lana win, And then obviously Lana would be challenging Asuka at WrestleMania, which is oh, that's such a weird thing to say. Anyways, Lana and Asuka at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship. That's what I had on my WWE booking thing. That's what I had. I honestly thought that's what they were gonna do. It's not legit. That's just what I planned. That's what I thought that they were gonna do. As far as legit about the Royal Rumble thing, that is very legit. Very legit. Bruce Pritchard and Vince wants to buy your god awful idea. Like, hey, Bruce or Vince, if you want to listen, give me a job and I'll write the worst TV shows that you've ever seen on your life. If that's what you guys are doing, I can make all your viewers tune out if you want. So yeah, now I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea. Then we are in the in game now. Yep. Yep. So next up, we had the thing that happened on main event. We had a little performance from Elias here and his brand new friend, Jaxson Ryker, who was out of WWE jail, supposedly, for his Twitter rant and whatnot, whatever he did. Yeah, no, I saw that on Raw. Lana lost like 5 minutes. Don't want to rematch. Lana win. Yeah, I don't know. It's already bad. How can it get worse? Oh, I bet you it could get worse. I bet you it could get much worse. I could write some god-awful television. I bet. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It would be crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, yeah, they paired up Jaxson Ryker and Elias. I don't know what Jaxson Ryker said. All I know is that everyone is very pissed off at him. They were very pissed off at him, and they're still very pissed off at him. People are not happy with his return. And yeah, like I said, I don't know what he said. I guess maybe I should look it up since everyone's mad and kind of familiarize myself with it. But yeah, this is all of that aside, since I don't know what's going on, they could be a tag team. You know, I'm assuming they paired them up because they just look similar. Like they got the hair and the beard. So they're like, huh, these guys would make a great team. We should pair them up. And as of right now, it kind of seems like Elias is like the star, the performer. And then Jaxson Ryker is kind of like his bodyguard, his protector, security, if you will. So I don't know. It'll be kind of interesting where they go with this. And of course, naturally, this segment was completely interrupted by R-Truth in the 24/7 championship. And they had Jaxson Ryker beat up all the 24/7 championship guys. So your Drew Gulak, your Eric from the Viking Raiders, your Lucha House Party, they all got beat up. So, you know, it was some high quality content here. Some high quality content. I guarantee it could get worse. Yes. Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah, it could get worse. Dude, like back in the day in WCW, I think there was like a time where they said their championship had changed hands like 50 times in like 2 months or something like that. There was a lot of bad stuff. You could make some bad TV for sure. Oh yeah, I see how people could be mad at that. From what I understand, I think he went a little bit further in on some other stuff too. But that's not what we're here to talk about. So I will just say that people are mad at him, and I'm surprised that he's back on TV. To be honest, very, very surprised, and especially since like he's the one that did it, and the other two guys, Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler, they're like they got punished too, just the same amount, and then they return on TV at the same time. He didn't. They got punished just as much as him for not even doing anything. Like, that don't make any sense. Now even the Viking Raiders are going to feel like a joke when they return because one of them was running after the 24/7 title. Nice. I mean, if you remember prior, though, they were eating turkey legs and beating up ninjas. So not much better at all. So you're telling me you don't like the 24/7 championship brawls? No, man. No. I don't think anyone does these days. It was... I don't know. I didn't really like it at the start, but I was willing to give it a chance because some of it was funny. Like the R-Truth and the Drake Maverick stuff was pretty entertaining sometimes, but it's just so repetitive. It's literally the same thing every single week. It's so bad. Like, just, if you're gonna do it, at least just do something different, please. Because we're literally just watching the same thing every week. It's the same 4 people doing the same roll-ups, chasing each other around. It's just not interesting. Just get rid of it, please. I wake up every Monday and eat a Brona and get ready to watch 24/7 Championship all day. Now that sounds like a that sounds like a day right there. The best of the 24/7 Championship, like, compilation on YouTube. What a night. What a night that would be. I forgot the Viking Raiders were a team. Yeah, I think Ivar's going to be out for a little bit. I think he had a neck or shoulder injury, if I remember from a dive. Watch him split the Viking Raiders. Oh, man. Dude, that would be the worst. Absolutely worst. Rhino the Ivar had turkey leg force powers. Yeah, it was... I don't get it. That's like my theme for tonight. I don't get it. I don't understand anymore. Keep in mind the 24/7 title almost ruined Ember Moon's career. Oh, yeah, I forgot that they had a women's 24/7 championship for a while there. That didn't last very long, but oh. Man, poor Ember Moon. I just want to take a second to say, like, I love Ember Moon. She's one of my favorites. I was devastated when she got hurt. It sucks. And now I was happy that they hyped her up to be back in NXT. But man, they've really fell short with that. She's done nothing but lose. She's been in good matches, but man, I'm a big fan of Ember Moon, so I would like to see her, on top again. As much as I love R-Truth, they're messing up the simple formula of the 24/7 title. Put everyone on TV, they can't even do it right. Just, yeah, they literally can't. And it's just, if they had just like some different segments, I think it would be much easier to watch. But it's just the same thing. It's R-Truth running by, and then 6 other dudes running by, and then some joke, or R-Truth just being stupid, being himself. It's not enjoyable anymore. I'm tired of it. It's been going on for so long. Oh God, I'm scared to even find out how long. Ooh, Ember unfortunately isn't in any better position right now. She's just there. Yep, completely agree. Completely agree. The more I think about it, if they reach unprofitable levels of viewers, maybe it's a good thing. They'd be forced to treat all their stars right for a change. That's what I hope. Like, that's why, for me, like, that's what I do. Like, if people, I've said it, like, I don't care if people like the product. It doesn't bother me, but what does bother me is that WWE is so much better than this, and they just get away with garbage just because, I don't know if people are just like yes men and they just kind of want to be like company fans, but this isn't their best foot forward. This is not what they have. They can do so much better, and that's why it's disappointing. It's like, I literally feel like I'm the father of WWE, okay? And WWE, they've gone to college to be a doctor, and their world is looking so good. Everything's looking good. And then all of a sudden, they take a left turn and they tell me they're going to start selling rocks as stone, like healing stones at the hippie mart down the street. That's how I feel about Raw. So much potential just gone. Like, they should be a doctor, right? So it's very disappointing to see the kind of things that they do. Malik says, how long have you been live for? We've been live for 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 25 seconds. Really fair assessment. Yeah, like, I mean, just trying to bring it into like real world, it's just, I don't know another way to put it. Like, it's just, that they're capable of so much better. We've seen what they're capable of in terms of shows. Like, if I remember correctly, it was the Royal Rumble that was really good. And then the next show was just garbage. And then they had another pay-per-view that was good. Was it Hell in a Cell? I want to say it was Hell in a Cell, but I could be wrong. They had another fantastic pay-per-view. and then they just like didn't run with it. Like they just went back to normal crappy episodes of Raw afterwards and SmackDown. It's just like, how does someone write this and then also write this? It doesn't make any sense. Everybody thinks they've reached the summit. Yeah, and it's just like the complacency is never good. Period. Like no one is safe from anything ever. We've learned that. So, and that's not, I never wish that they would go out of business or anything. Like, I mean, that would suck. I love watching wrestling. So WWE going out of business is a lot of wrestling content that just disappears. And especially if they like go broke, because if they go broke, they're certainly not even going to be able to maintain the WWE network. So you're going to lose all of that as well. So it's not about like places closing or anything. It's just like trying to say like, hey man, if you think this is good, like you should check out the older stuff because it's actually really good. And if you think this is like their peak content, you should go see the other content because this it's not even close. So that's my frustrations, and that's why I express my frustrations with everything. It's just because I know they're better than this. I know they can do better. We've seen it. So it's always really frustrating just to get the short end of the stick. WWE needs special episodes of Monday Night Raw, if you know what I mean. Are you talking about like gimmick shows? I got text here. Good old-fashioned gimmick shows instead of pay-per-views. I think there's a lot of changes to be made, and I think one of them is starting with like a 3-hour show. It needs to be 2. Raw would be so much more tolerable if it was a 2-hour show, and their ratings wouldn't be nearly as bad if it was a 2-hour show. They lose like 300,000 or 400,000 viewers typically from the first hour to the last. The pay-per-views are only good because of the performers, but the stories just aren't that good. Yeah, Safa, I mean, I can see that as well. And that's why I say that their roster is so good. It's stacked. Like, these people can give us exactly what we want. They just don't let them. There's no reason why we can't have a 15-minute match between two guys or a 20-minute match between two guys or even, 20-minute tag team matches between people on a standard episode of Raw or SmackDown. You can still go all out for the pay-per-views. Plus, if you're not booking 5-minute matches, like how many matches did Raw have tonight? Just a couple. And they were probably, the first one was 15 minutes, and then the other ones were probably really short. MACE and Ricochet was really short. Lana and Nia Jax was really short. What was the other match tonight? Dana and Shayna was really short. Matt Riddle and MVP was really short. So, I mean, like, it would fill up the time so much easier. I don't get it. I don't get it. You can even tell stories in 10-minute matches with exhibition matches like I've talked about a million times. In your face Monday Night Raw, just remember that happened a few months ago for some reason. I feel like they did that tonight. They did that. They, at least on social media, they promoted tonight as being the Nightmare Before TLC, which was the opening segment, but it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. I just wish that they could pull themselves out. I wish that there was someone there to fix it. I really do. Because nothing would make me happier than watching these shows like I do every week and having them be really good. And you can do that appealing to, it's not like a family rating or something. You can have good shows that have family ratings. Like I don't need attitude era stuff. I don't need dudes bleeding all over the place. I don't need people like nearly dying and stuff like that. These shows can still be good with a family friendly rating. So wait, was this the go home show? Yes, this was the go home show. TLC is this Sunday. Some of humanity's biggest accomplishments are getting to the moon or watching the whole show without falling asleep. Yeah, I wish I could do that. I like, a lot of times I'm like, man, why did I decide to ever do these Instagram coverage things? Like, I could have just like done other stuff and been fine. And then I started doing these post shows, and now I'm like, man, why did I start doing these post shows? I don't want to watch this. I want to go like do something or go to the store or anything other than this. Yeah. After that, we saw Keith Lee in a backstage segment here with the Miz and John Morrison, where he, I guess, just turned into Two-Face. He's flipping coins now for some reason. They didn't really describe it, so hopefully that's not like a gimmick or anything. But yeah, so he had a handicap match tonight with the Miz and John Morrison, and I'm assuming, just like me, you all thought that Keith Lee was gonna beat him up, and he didn't. Keith Lee lost. Keith Lee took an L to the Miz and John Morrison. Like, unbelievable. All these guys do is lose. That's what they do. It's all they've done since John Morrison has returned, really. They've just lose over and over and over and over. And then the Miz won the Money in the Bank briefcase. And then guess what? Back to losing over and over. And they got squashed by Drew McIntyre in a handicap match like 3 weeks ago. But nope, they beat Keith Lee. And man, that hurts. And it hurts even more because of the whole thing of them sending him back down because they're not happy with his wrestling. Vince doesn't like his wrestling all of a sudden. I'm sorry, but Keith Lee is one of the best guys that you have on the roster for Raw. He does not need to go get more training. And you certainly should not be pairing him with Omos and Otis. So this loss just kind of spoke volumes to me in the terms of that. It was like, man, maybe there is more to this than we're seeing. And yeah, it's a handicap match. We get it. It was 2 versus 1. They were both on top of him. Yada, yada, yada. But, you know, all they do is lose. And Drew squashed him. So when you take that into account, it kind of doesn't matter. It's really frustrating. And I haven't watched the Keith Lee documentary on the network yet, but I've heard fantastic things about it. And I've heard things of like, you know, him having discussions with Vince and Vince being really high on him and stuff like that. But man, this just tells me the complete opposite. Complete opposite. It's brutal. Watch now. Keith Lee is going downhill from here. The exact thing happened with Aleister Black. He was unbeaten for a year, and the second he took his first L, has been consistently decreasing in losses. Yeah, I could see it. I could see it. And the thing that is frustrating about all of this is that they never make these wins and losses matter. So the Miz and John Morrison are not catching any momentum from this. They're not doing anything. They're certainly not going to cash in on Drew and win. So it's like, why? Why do you sacrifice someone like Keith Lee for that? And that's why I used that picture for the stream overlay, for the dashboard. That's my face, scrunched up, irritated. Why? Why is this a thing? So hopefully, I know that Keith Lee is a great dude. He seems very optimistic about everything. So hopefully he can keep his head up, and hopefully this isn't anything big. And this is just a case of a one night bad booking and he'll recover next week. I have my fingers crossed for that because this man could definitely be a star. He had fantastic moments with Brock and Drew already, and Roman Reigns too. So build off of that. Please, for the love of God, just build off of that. This dude has what it takes. He does. He does. You just have to believe in him, and you just have to let him do what he does best, because that's why he's here. He's here because he was doing what he does best. You saw that and you wanted that. So don't change that. Let him continue to do what he does, and this man will be a star. For the love of God, please. I kind of miss Brock. I don't know if I'd go that far, Malik. I don't know if I'd go that far. Keith Lee going to the PC is proof that Vince doesn't watch NXT. Yeah. Yeah, he just seems so out of touch with everything. And it's like, How could you take someone that was your NXT champion and then just kind of fumble with them? Like, there should be, when you're moving people around and you're doing these type of things, there should be a clear path, if you ask me. It's like, okay, Keith Lee is NXT champion, but I want him on Raw. Well, why do you want him on Raw? What is he going to do on Raw? Is he going to just enter into, is he just going to be a dominant guy? Is he going to go for a title? Is he like, what is it he's going to do? Is he going to feud with someone crazy? Is someone going to put him over? What's the plan? There should be a pure goal, a pure plan in place so that everything flows correctly. You can't just do this thing where you move 5 or 6 people from NXT to Raw, and then you're overloaded with new people, and then you just don't use them. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't benefit those people. Those people are going to be off TV, and everyone's going to get confused. They're not going to remember, and it's just going to go downhill, especially when you're trying to appeal to these casual people that maybe don't watch NXT. They see this guy show up, and he's losing to the dudes that lose to everyone. How does that make him look? Not very good, if you ask me. Not very good at all. I'd like to see a team between Lee and Ricochet. I mean, I like Keith Lee as a single star. I really do. I would love to just see him be himself and be great. And I think he's world champion material. He should be in that top contender area. They just need to book him right, for the love of God. Like, I don't feel like this stuff is that hard. Remember this, Aleister Black will end like Adam Rose when he left, with that dark story that didn't end. I'm not sure I even expect to see Aleister Black on TV again, to be honest with you. I haven't heard anything about it in a while, so maybe I can poke around and see if anyone's posted any news about it, but I'm sure that whole thing, if they really are clashing over the stuff that they're supposedly clashing over, I don't see it ending very well. I would probably just imagine Black sitting out his contract. That would be my guess, because he's one of those people that can certainly show up somewhere else and be a star. And I already think Thea Trinidad, which is Zelina Vega, has something lined up. I just don't think she can mention it for like another 60 days or something. So we'll see what happens. I mean, if she shows up at Impact, where she used to be, you could probably imagine that Aleister Black would as well. If you keep doing this, you're never going to get better, and you're going to be struck with the same guys in the main event scene forever until they leave, and then you're left with nothing. Yep, pretty much. And I mean, we're kind of already there in that point. So just imagine Raw today without your Roman Reigns, your Drew McIntyre, your Randy Orton, your Kevin Owens. What do you have? Your Seth Rollins, who you don't have right now. You're kind of left with peanuts. You don't really have much left. So imagine giving me a 5-star perfect match against Gargano, but then you get beaten by some random dude on Raw. Andrade for you right there. Yep. But Leo, supposedly the rumor is Andrade is going to have a big push when he comes back. He's going to be paired up with Charlotte. So hopefully that'll be interesting. Hopefully that'll be good. I'll be really happy for that. And I think we need it. We definitely need it. We need some fresh stuff. We need to get going on some fresh stuff here. It's all so repetitive. It's all the same every week. And that's the whole thing about not having people wrestle and just kind of have them featured for the show. It just gets so stale. So anyways, moving on from Keith Lee and his disappointing huge loss, we have the Firefly Funhouse field trip. Obi James says, I gotta head out. Have a good night, AOW. You too, man. You too. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. So was the rumored WrestleMania card fake? Doesn't look like Keith Lee is going to be in the WWE Championship match. I don't know. It's one night, so let's wait and see what happens next week. Maybe it's just a case of bad booking one night. Maybe they're trying to do something. Maybe they're trying to make him more aggressive. I don't know. It's very possible, but WrestleVotes is pretty reliable as well. So I usually run with the things that they talk about. It usually comes true, or they also said that it wasn't something that was set in stone. It was just something that was being thrown around. So take that as well when we talk about that it's just being talked about as a possibility. So anyways, we had the Firefly Funhouse field trip with Bray Wyatt and his puppets in the Thunderdome, which, oh God. And this leads me to the, so Randy Orton interrupted this segment, right? And he said, Bray. And then Bray's like looking around, and then he goes, up here. Man, that kills me. I cannot express to you enough how much that hurts my soul. When someone is on the Titantron and they're yelling at someone and they go up here. Oh, it's brutal. It's just like the all you people thing. Like, oh, I would be WWE champion if it wasn't for all you people. All you people suck. You're the worst. It's, oh my God. Please stop. So anyways, Randy Orton wanted to play a game with Bray Wyatt. He wanted to play a game of hide and seek. So of course, Bray Wyatt, happy little cheery man he was, the Firefly version of himself, he wanted to play. So we headed backstage, and that was all we had on that. And then the worst of the worst. We had the Foot Clan. We had MACE taking on Ricochet in a singles match. I don't know why they're doing this. This goes towards the thing that I've been saying forever, where it's like they'll have, I think it was on SmackDown post show that I was talking about this, where they have tag teams, and they're doing like, Kofi versus Shelton Benjamin, and then they'll have, oh no, it was the Raw post show, because it was them. So you have Kofi versus Shelton, and then you have Kofi versus Cedric, and then you have Xavier versus Cedric, and then you have Xavier versus Shelton, and then you have the New Day versus the Hurt Business, and then you have the Hurt Business versus the New Day. So they're just kind of running through every kind of variation they can to extend it. They're doing that right now with Ricochet and the Foot Clan as well. We've seen Ricochet take on Slapnuts twice now, I believe, and he won once and then lost. And then we saw that weird mixed tag match, and now MACE just beat Ricochet as well. And Mustafa Ali says he's not going to stop until he joins Retribution. So expect to see Ricochet and T-Bar next week, I would imagine. I don't know. I really hope Ricochet doesn't join the Foot Clan, man. If he does, I'll enjoy the laugh at his name. But other than that, I don't want to see this. I don't get why this is on TV still. Retribution didn't work. It's just time. It's time to call it quits. Mercedes Martinez saw it for exactly what it was, and she dipped ASAP. Why these other guys haven't done it, I don't understand. This is not going to work. It's not going to work ever. It doesn't matter what they do. It's not going to work. It was destined to fail from the beginning, and they fed the Hackerman 5000 to it for absolutely no reason. Absolutely none. The Foot Clan just saves the show for me. It's the only thing that makes me feel better about myself. I mean, when you watch that, you feel superior to those guys in real life. Yeah, it's just, I don't get it. I don't get it. I wonder what happened to the other Raw superstars. Which ones, Sheridan? Which ones are you talking about? Watch them call Ricochet like bounce or flyer or something. Oh yeah. Bullet that bounces off something. Some weird. Oh man, I just really hope that doesn't happen. I'm not prepared to see Ricochet in some weird mask with some weird name. I've heard prisoners are being tortured by making them watch matches and segments with the Foot Clan. Oh, dude, the ultimate punishment would be having someone watch their entrance over and over. Oh, that shaky cam is brutal, man. That would literally make me throw up. Like if I had to watch that. That's like some Clockwork Orange stuff. You know, if you've ever seen Clockwork Orange, I think they're trying to like rehabilitate him at the end, and they like they don't like tape his eyes open, but they like put a thing on him to keep his eyes open, and he has to like watch all this stuff. It's insane. Like that's what imagine having someone put that on your face so you couldn't like blink or close your eyes or anything, and you just had to watch the Retribution entrance. Just all that shake. Oh man. Retribution. Yeah, that was so good on the Taka Choppa Mania. And God, I can't believe they're having a third one. Ricochet's contract might expire next year. Oh, that'd be good, man, because he needs to get the hell out of there. ASAP. He needs to get out. He would do so well in Impact or AEW. I could see that happening. That'd be great. What is this feud supposed to do for anyone anyway? Get a win over Ricochet doesn't give anyone credibility? Yeah, that's what I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. That's why their whole thing was they're here to destroy the WWE. But they're like not. They're just wrestling. They have entrances and they're getting paid and they're doing what they should be. They're not doing anything that the other people aren't doing. They're not telling the truth about anything. They're not doing anything except beating up Ricochet. So everyone in Retribution should get the hell out of WWE. I swear to you all, when one of them leaves this company, they're going to unleash hell on this gimmick. I promise you. You will hear about it. They're all just trying to get over. They're all just being company men, trying to, say that they're happy doing their job. I guarantee you that will not be the case when one of them's gone. I promise. There's no way. there's no way that like Donovan Dickhead is gonna leave WWE and be like, oh yeah, man, I pitched the Retribution idea. It was so good. I just loved it. I just ate it up. I couldn't sleep. I was just dreaming about all these cool Retribution things we could do. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Next up, we had Matt Riddle again in a backstage segment with Bray Wyatt. Of course, they're going overboard with the bros. Just bro this, bro that, bro nuts, bro nouns, bro instead of Bray Wyatt. It's too much, man. I like Matt Riddle a lot, but I just feel like they're doing too much of the bro. I would just ease it down just a little bit. It doesn't need to be every word that comes out of his mouth. It doesn't need to be bro, and not everything needs to have bro thrown in the front of it either. So this might be another one of those cases of the overexposure and the just being so annoying. My head is broken from all of this. Yeah, there you go. Where he says Dijak is going to spill everything. Oh, 100%. 100%. It's only a matter of time. And then you know what? I'm just going to sit there and laugh. I'm just going to say, I told you. I told you. No one liked this. It was apparent when like Mercedes Martinez dropped out. It was apparent when the entire, like the people that were Retribution were changing every single week. They were all different. And there was like 20 of them. And now these aren't any of them. You had those guys that had the chainsaw and they were like destroying things. Those people are not them. That's not the Retribution we have on TV. Those were different people. So none of it I hate it. None of it makes sense. After that, we had Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Well, Shayna Baszler taking on Dana Brooke, but there was some sort of disqualification. I wasn't paying attention. I think Nia Jax attacked Dana Brooke, like just plain as day in front of the ref. It had like threw her against the stairs or something like that. So naturally, everyone's favorite ending here. Disqualification. Absolutely brutal. After the match, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax are just beating up Dana Brooke, and then her tag team partner, Mandy Rose, comes out with a kendo stick and starts lighting them up. So it's nice to see Mandy Rose back. So hopefully maybe her and Dana Brooke will do something. I don't know. Originally, I thought that maybe Mandy Rose was going to team up with Asuka for that, but then I forgot that they were doing like the whole tag team thing with her and Dana Brooke. So I don't know. Maybe they'll do something with them. I'm not quite sure though. Ali should get out of WWE. He's an amazing wrestler. Dude, Ali is incredible. The dude can speak so well. Like all of his video packages are fantastic. Like even the Retribution stuff is so good. Like he legit tries to make it work. It's not going to, but man, he's so good with his words. He's so good at promos, and he's an incredible wrestler too. It's really a shame that this is what they're doing with him. Really a shame. Who's Nia Jax? I thought Shayna's partner was Big Oof. Yeah, I forget to call her that sometimes. The women's tag champs have been losing for weeks. Way to make the titles feel even less valuable than actual garbage. Yep, it's one of those things, man. It's just they should have never made them. They should have never made them. It was just, if you didn't have like long-term plans. So supposedly the plan was to have when the Iconics had them, they were supposed to fight the Bella Twins at WrestleMania. And obviously that stuff happened with Nikki where she had a tumor or her like neck problems or whatever it was. And she couldn't compete. And so that like literally just like rocked them for like 4 months. They couldn't apparently come up with another plan in that span of the time. So they just kind of sat and did nothing until they put them on Sasha and Bailey, I think was next. It's like, come on. Someone should be able to do this at the writing table. If someone says like, hey, the Bella Twins can't compete, you should be able to say, oh, hey, you know what? What about Asuka and Kairi Sane? What about Sasha Banks and Bailey? What about insert a team here? Like, I don't understand why stuff like that is so difficult. It's not like they have some crazy tag team tournaments and wrestling things that they have going on where they can't take people. They're just not doing anything. The only thing that could save the women's division is Io Shirai being tag team champions with Asuka. The landscape for the women's division will be crazy when the NXT people move up. If they ever do at this point, because I guess they kind of got to draw on Wednesdays now as well. So that'd be crazy. Maybe the insufferability of Retribution is their low-key way of destroying WWE. Maybe. Maybe just making it unwatchable. Surprised Mandy and Sonya never won the titles. Oh, dude, Mandy and Sonya would have been so good. So good. I mean, I feel so bad for Sonya. So bad. She's incredible. Sonya was so good at wrestling. I absolutely love Sonya Deville. Everything. I hope she's all good. I really do. I would love to see her come back someday. Really, really would. So anyways, we go backstage once again to Bray Wyatt looking for Randy Orton. He ends up stumbling upon a room with a rocking chair in it, just like one that he would have back in the day. So he goes in, stares at it, walks around. He ends up sitting in it. And then, guess what? You guessed it, that's right. Randy Orton attacked him from behind, beat the hell out of him. And then I was not expecting this at all. He threw him in like a big old box, locked it, and I was like, oh, okay. He locked him in the box, and then I was like, oh, he's gonna turn around and the Fiend's gonna be there. Like, that's gonna be cool. Then this man grabbed some gasoline and poured it on the box and lit it on fire. So he lit Bray Wyatt on fire inside of a box. It's crazy. He's standing there staring at it, and then bam, the top just bursts open and the Fiend just rages out of there and gets a nice mandible claw on Randy Orton. It was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool visual. It was probably one of my favorite things of the show tonight. Although being like a 4-minute segment, it was really good. It was really good. And I hate that I guess I don't hate it, but I wish that they would have delayed this. I guess not delayed it, but the matches. I wish they would have stretched them out a little bit longer. I feel like there's a lot of story to tell between these two here. And I think it could be some really good content. So I really hope they don't blow through it. I really do. The arsonist Randy's most underrated gimmick. Yeah, pretty much. That's why I was like, man, they need to put these guys in an Inferno match. Let's go. You guys want to burn some stuff down? Let's play with some fire. Especially since there's not a crowd. You don't have to worry about anything. Light it up. Let's go. Let's go. This was incredible. This is top stuff. It felt so out of place compared to the quality of everything else. Yeah, it just goes with that thing. It's like, even on SmackDown, Roman Reigns is so good. So that stuff, it's just different. This too, Randy Orton's just different. The Fiend and Bray Wyatt, they're just different. So, of course, I have faith in everything they do. Hopefully it's good. I'm hoping for a decent match. You know, it's a Fiend match, so obviously it's not going to be anything crazy, but hopefully, I'm hoping it doesn't end, though. I feel like there's a lot more story to be told here. Kind of like they did with the Braun thing, but maybe better. I feel like there's a lot to go through, and I feel like they really haven't even scratched the surface on it. Want to hear a bomb? Reckoning is winning the tag titles with Asuka. Oh, there you go. That's how you write worst TV right there. That's how you write it. Randy Orton didn't learn his lesson with The Undertaker. I guess not, yeah. I'm surprised you're still alive. Me? Why? Do not lock a paranormal entity in a box, casket, and try to burn it. Yeah, exactly. Joshua says, where is Braun? I believe he's injured. I believe. And they did that weird thing of him attacking everyone's favorite authority, not so authority figure, Adam Pearce. I think it was just a way to write him off TV quickly and not have him in a match or get injured further. Next up, we had our... This is kind of funny to think that this is the main event because this was the last match of the night. We had Matt Riddle versus MVP, and this match was probably like, what, 30 seconds? Matt Riddle absolutely just ran through MVP. He literally destroyed him. I don't even understand what the point of this was. I mentioned it earlier. We're probably going to see the Hurt Business versus the New Day and the Hardy Bros, Matt Riddle and Jeff Hardy, next week on Raw. That's what I'm assuming. Maybe that's why this match was made. MVP didn't even get an entrance. The man just got literally squashed as if he wasn't one of the best things about Raw in the pandemic era. So I don't quite understand that at all. Only thing that this does kind of feels rushed. It almost seems like they realized they've got other plans for both going into Mania, so they decided to pull the trigger on it now. Yeah, I mean, even Randy and The Fiend for WrestleMania would be fine. I mean, it's probably a little bit too early to start it now, so it's probably not fine now, but I feel like that would have been a good feud if they would have had some time to tell a story. There's a lot there. And that's the best thing that you have with The Fiend. Obviously his matches aren't that great because he's a monster clown thing. So it's all in the story. So why not, if you're rushing the story, then it's not going to be good. Just not. Sweet victory for Riddle. Beat MVP and then snacked on his bro nuts. Yep, like a true champion. True champion. Oh, God. So then we had the final thing of the night, which was the WWE Championship Ascension segment. I don't remember what it's called. It's like some Ascension thing where they just hang the title in the air like they normally do. Between AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre. I liked this. I liked the promo part of it. And we've never seen AJ and Drew McIntyre in a singles match before, so like this was good. This was good. I'm happy to see this. Obviously, Styles is gonna lose. We all know that. Drew's gonna walk out with a championship. So I'm really looking forward to this. I thought the promos were great. Flash says, thanks for the stream, dude. I'm gonna see the end tomorrow. See you, man. Good night. Thanks, Flash, for tuning in. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just about to wrap it up here. We're finishing up the show, but thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Hope you have a great night. Want to get a few storylines, make someone attack Randy Orton and then get Breezango to investigate it. Get Damian Priest to be the attacker because he wanted to join Bray. That's money right there. Yeah, I mean, there's tons of stuff. We haven't even seen Breezango in a while. I'm not sure if they're hurt or not. I'm still mad he won the Universal Championship, then lost it a week later to Vince's buddy Roman. Yeah, I forgot about that. That makes no sense either. To be fair, it's a fresh matchup. I'd much rather see Orton versus The Fiend at Mania and like Edge versus AJ or something rather than run back Orton versus Edge. There you go. Yeah, and it's weird too because obviously Edge is going to have a limited amount of matches that he can have. So why not fill in those dream matches? Well, you can. Why run back the same thing that we've seen twice already? We're going to have 3 times Randy Orton versus Edge? Come on, let's move on. Edge and Styles would be awesome. That'd be a lot of fun. Be a lot of fun. Edge Styles jinxed himself. We all know that. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So, like I was saying, good promos from both of these guys. It was great stuff. Then they made the mistake of having Tom Phillips get out of the ring. So he kind of creeped out, and then you instantly knew that someone was going to attack Drew. And Styles was like, well, maybe I won't be alone. And then The Miz and John Morrison came out and attacked him from behind. But it's Drew, man. So he no-sells everything. He ends up running through The Miz and John Morrison, just squashing them, which makes what happened to Keith Lee even more frustrating because Drew McIntyre literally squashed them again on the show. So why? Why is that a thing? And then AJ does get the upper hand on Drew, and he puts him on a table and does an elbow drop on him from the ladder. And then he climbs up the ladder and grabs the WWE Championship to close out the show. So yeah, he, unfortunately, he jinxed himself. You don't grab the title before a pay-per-view. It's not going to end very well. So, but it should be a good match. I'm really looking forward to it. It's a TLC match as well, so it should be good. Should be brutal. Can't wait for NXT for Tony Storm. Yeah. Yeah. Just make Miz win the title at Mania beating Lesnar. It would suck, but at least be funny. Oh God. So many people would be so mad at that. WWE's going to overbook their match. Just want Drew versus AJ, but they're going to involve the Miz and Morrison. Oh yeah, 100%. And that's the thing that's frustrating is that you're going to have Drew McIntyre in a TLC match. The odds are stacked against him a lot. Even if Sheamus wants to help, that's still 3-on-2. So why not cash in? It's a perfect recipe for cashing in. And I'm assuming they're not going to do it, which is really a shame. It really is. Because I have no interest in the Money in the Bank at all. It's just not been good. It hasn't been good. Is it going to be a handicap match? I just said that. What if it's not just me? Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm assuming they'll be involved somehow. I'm sure they will. I am sure they will. But yeah, that wraps up the show tonight. I had another hour and 40-minute stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun talking with you guys. We'll be here back again for NXT and Dynamite on Wednesday, which should be great shows as always. Although AEW Dynamite does have a huge 8-man tag match. So I'm sure that's not going to go very great. We get the match we want, and now we have all these unwanted outside parties getting involved. Hate to be negative, but that's so typical. Yeah, for it not to be a straight Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles match. Yeah, that's gonna suck. It would be nice if it was just a regular singles match, so they would get disqualified, so they just had to run it back. It'll end up being Miz, Morrison, and Styles for Sheamus and McIntyre. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That is what I'm thinking. Yeah. Oh, yo, it's TLC's this week, so I'm gonna try to put together a TLC predictions video. Yeah, try to do that this week. Have that up by maybe Friday or Saturday as well, and then it'll just be a video, so you guys can leave yours in the comments of it. That'll be pretty cool. And then maybe, I don't know if there's gonna be something else, but I think we're gonna do a Q&A on Sunday, like I was gonna do last week. We'll do it this week. I'll hop on for an hour or two on Sunday. We'll figure out a time maybe on Wednesday or Friday. And I'll just come in, chill for an hour or 2 hours. We'll talk about whatever pops up. Anyone can ask whatever questions they want. We'll just kind of hang out and chill and have a good old Sunday. And then I still haven't quite decided on what's going to happen for SmackDown on Christmas and New Year's yet. But I will let you guys know when I decide that as well, because that is coming up quick. Coming up quick. Watch them announce 3 more matches on Sunday afternoon. Yeah, they probably will. They will, for sure. That's definitely what they do. That's definitely what they do. Yeah, anyways, thank you guys for checking out the stream. I appreciate it. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me. Really helps me. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it by the end of the year, but that'd be pretty cool. It's sitting at 560, 5 something, 567. Yeah, we got a little more than 400 to go. That would be awesome if we could do that. So if you're not subscribed, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you haven't hit the like button, you can do that as well. It really helps me out. Brings up the engagement and everything, and I appreciate it a lot. And yeah, we'll be here on Wednesday. We'll be talking AEW Dynamite, and we'll be talking NXT as well. And if any other news pops up in between them, we'll be going into that as well. And remember, I stand with AOW. That's right. Support AOW. Watch all of these. Watch all of them 10 times. 10 times over. Like them. Subscribe. Turn on notifications. Do what you can. Share with your friends. Share with your mom. Share with your grandma. Share with everyone. Share with everyone. Anyways, thank you guys. I will see you all Wednesday. I hope you guys have a great night. Peace.